You ever think a single traffic stop could tilt a whole town on its head? I mean, you picture August in North Carolina, pavement burning your feet through your boots, sun pouring down through the window like it's got a grudge, and there's Officer Troy Fenwick, sweat working its way down the back of his neck, convincing himself he's just doing his job. Except, some days the job feels more like muscle memory than justice, and you're never sure which side you're on until it's too late. That day, he's sitting in his cruiser near Skibbo Road, eyeing a black BMW with Ohio plates, out of state, tinted windows, just the kind of car that makes you second-guess the routine. Truth is, Troy probably would have let it slide if it hadn't been so close to lunch. But sometimes a hunch is all it takes to turn a regular Thursday into a story you'll replay for the rest of your life. He flips the lights, trails the BMW as it merges without signaling. Minor thing, really, but enough for an excuse, and the car glides over by the golf course entrance, parks neat as you please. Troy steps out, straightens his belt, tries to project that authority they drill into you at the academy, but you can feel the nerves under the badge. The window rolls down and there he is, a black man, late 40s, pressed shirt, expensive watch, hands on the wheel, voice as calm as lake water. "Afternoon, officer. Was there a reason for the stop?" And right away you can tell, he's not rattled, he's not defiant, he's just not playing scared. That alone throws Troy off. He asks for license and registration, gets the paperwork with no fuss. And as he glances at the name, Deshaun Tramble, something about it sticks. Not that he recognizes it, just that the whole thing feels off-kilter, like he's missing a piece of the puzzle. Back at the cruiser, Troy mutters the name under his breath, doesn't run it right away, just watches the guy through the mirror. Why's this man in that neighborhood, in that car? Troy steps back to the window, leans in a little closer. "Where you headed?" Tramble's answer is straightforward. "Just left Fort Liberty, headed back to his hotel." "You military?" "No." "So what were you doing on base?" "Briefing." "For what?" "Work." And it goes on. Troy pushing, Tramble keeping it measured, not giving an inch, but not provoking either. You know what I mean? It's that kind of standoff where the tension's all in what's not said. Troy finally says, "Step out of the vehicle." That's when Tramble calmly reaches into his jacket, flips open a badge, FBI. Special Agent Deshaun Tramble. Real deal. Now, a lot of cops would have backed down, maybe even laughed it off. Not Troy. He straightens up, shrugs like it doesn't matter. That's supposed to mean something? Tramble doesn't flinch, just tells him he'll be making a phone call now. "You're not being detained." Troy snaps. "I know, but I think it's time someone else is aware of this stop." He dials, low and direct, no drama, no names. "Hey, it's me. Right now? Skibbo and Briarwood. Send them." And he hangs up. You could almost miss it, the way something shifts in the air right then. But that was the first domino. Troy paces by his car, pretending to check the mirror, chest tight, not from fear, but from something closer to resentment. Inside the BMW, Tramble's checking his watch, not rattled, not relaxed either. He's seen worse, but this has a different flavor. No rules, just arrogance. Troy tries again, more forceful now, asking what agency, what work. Tramble stays cool, reminds him the badge says all he needs to. "Out here on this road, I'm in charge," Troy barks. And Tramble, you can see he's weighing it all, thinking ahead, calculating, not just for himself, but for everyone else who could get swept up in the fallout. "Are you detaining me? You're not under arrest. So am I free to go?" And there's that split second, the hesitation, when both men know this has already gone further than it needed to. "I'm going to ask you to step out again. Let's talk without the window between us." "No," Tramble says, voice even. "I've complied with all legal requirements. I do not consent to unnecessary escalation." By now, Troy's temper's fraying. "You think that badge gives you a free pass?" Tramble meets his gaze, steady, steel underneath. "That badge represents 23 years of service. I've stood across from men who actually were threats. I think I've kept this country safer than you'll ever understand. And you're playing a very dangerous game with the wrong person." That lands. But instead of backing down, Troy doubles down. Starts fishing for another reason, hinting maybe Tramble's working a case, trying to catch him out. Tramble just sits there, lets the silence do the work. Then, just as Troy's about to make another call, he hears tires crunching behind him. Two black Suburbans, unmarked plates, Guys in suits and earpieces step out, cool as ice. And you know right away, these aren't local. One asks, "You Finnick?" Troy tries to puff up, but he's out of his depth now, authority just slipping out of his hands. Has Agent Tramble been placed under arrest? No, I was just conducting. Is he suspected of a crime? Not exactly. The agents don't raise voices, don't flash badges, they don't have to. They just stand there, let Troy stew in the moment, and you can see it on his face, that realization that this is bigger than him. Then a third car rolls up, government plates. Woman in a navy blazer steps out, crisp, calm, introduces herself as Special Agent Quinn Broccoli, U.S. Attorney's Office. She walks straight to Troy, asks for the reason for the stop, listens to his weak answer about a lane change, then turns to Tramble, who finally steps out. She addresses him by title, asks if he's okay. No damage, just familiarity, he replies. She tells Troy he's aware this man holds TS/SCI clearance, a lead investigator on active counterintel ops, that this stop should have lasted 90 seconds, and it's now at 26 minutes. Troy feels it drop in his gut. This isn't embarrassment, it's shame, and it's got teeth. Broccoli tells him the body cam is active and will stay that way. Internal affairs is on the way, and he'll be escorted to the station for immediate debrief. I was just doing my job, Troy mutters. No. Tramble cuts in, voice like a scalpel. You were doing what you think your job is, and you let bias guide your instinct instead of reason. And for the first time, Troy can't look him in the eye, not with all these witnesses. Another patrol unit rolls up, a sergeant calls him over gently, and as Troy walks away, there's no anger in Tramble's face, just disappointment, like a teacher watching a student fail an easy test. That night, the body cam footage is uploaded, standard protocol, but within hours, it leaks. Not by Tramble, not the feds, but someone inside the department. The clip goes viral. Everyone sees that moment. Troy, sneering, that's supposed to mean something? And Tramble, cool as ever, I think it will. It explodes, on Twitter, on cable news, in every group chat you can imagine. Podcasts break it down, panel discussions dissect it, and suddenly Troy Fenwick is a household name, a symbol of how quickly authority can curdle when it's not checked by humility. What most people never know is that Tramble's calm wasn't just for show, it was necessity. If he'd acted threatened, activated a security alert, whole operations could have been shut down. National security, real implications. The DOJ holds emergency meetings, internal memos circulate. Every department nationwide is told to revisit their protocol for handling federal personnel. Fayetteville PD announces mandatory de-escalation training. The chief reviews every stop Troy's made in 18 months. The patterns are clear, and nobody's surprised. Meanwhile, Troy sits at home, blinds drawn, watching his name trend for all the wrong reasons. He reads a text from his brother, "What were you thinking?" but doesn't answer. What can he say? The truth is, he'd seen the badge and decided it didn't matter, just like that. Across town, Tramble stays out of the spotlight, drinks his coffee, refuses every interview. The headlines have cooled, but Fayetteville hasn't forgotten. Troy, still on leave, shops at a quiet store across town, hoping to go unnoticed. Turns a corner, and there's Tramble, casual as can be. Just another man picking up almond milk. Troy hesitates, but walks over. "Agent Tramble, I owe you an apology. I assumed. I escalated. I didn't listen." Tramble looks at him, calm as ever. "Do better. Next time, whoever it is, doesn't have to be me. That's all." No handshake, no forgiveness ceremony, just the truth and a chance to carry it forward. Back home, Troy writes it down. Real power doesn't need to shout to be heard. The town's changed a little, maybe not in ways you see, but in the conversations, the questions, the hesitation before someone jumps to conclusions. And as for Tramble, he packs his bag, takes a quiet pride in the kind of change that doesn't need a headline. If this story made you stop and think, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, talk about it. Ask yourself where you'd stand if the camera wasn't rolling. And if you're still listening, you know what to do. Subscribe, leave a comment, tell us. Where do you see the line between authority and respect, and who do you trust to walk it?